everybody. Hi, hello, what's up, CCNet? We are so excited to have you all in here today because we have prepared a little something for you. We thought that we could get some real feedback from you guys because you're like players and you always play and you're our community, and we as the staff team really need your input on everything that goes on into CCNet. So CCNet Campfire Talks is an event made especially for you guys because we want to know your opinion about everything that goes on in CCNet. We can now move on. Okay, going forwards, we are going to present you guys the table of contents for today's presentation and event, and we're gonna let you know what we are going to present you. So the contents for today, as you guys can see, is you're gonna meet your host, we're gonna review your general feedback and the formula that you guys sent us, and then the part where you guys are all excited, and I know that you guys want to know about it. It's the future of nations, and it's gonna be Nations 3 teasers. And we're gonna give you a little sneak peek into what we have been working on for you guys based on your opinions, and then at the end we're gonna have a Q&A, an open discussion. We can move on. Now we're gonna ask you to have a moment and applaud because this is the host of today's event, the people who have worked to make this event possible, and we can start presenting them, shall we? Starting off with me. Hello people, I'm Tears. I am one of the CCNet staff member team players. I am a CCNet helper. I am the CCNet PR manager. And I am really excited to have you all guys in here because it is an important event for me and for the staff team. And we are going to have a nice time, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this event. We can move on to the next host.
Hi. Thank you, Tears. That was a really good intro. Hi, guys. My name is Sami. You might have seen me join the staff ranks within the last few months. I am currently acting as the CCNet project manager, working on Nations 3, most excitedly, and this. In case anyone's curious, I am a professionally trained project manager, so I'm a little bit overqualified, but I am here to kick everyone into gear and make sure Nations 3 happens. So if you have any questions about it, I am your go-to.
Well, hello everybody. You guys probably already know me. I'm David Francis. I'm a moderator, and I'm also a member of the PR of the server. You might know me for my videos. I do content stuff, but I also help on the server content. So yeah, that's basically me.
Paul Dependa is one of the CCNet admins. He is one of the Hearts of Nations founders, and he is very professional in what he's doing, and I wish he was here to tell us more about himself, but I can't speak on his behalf.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi, Mook. Just admin. Been here wicked long.
Okay, thank you, Mook. We can move on to the next part of the presentation, which is going to be the longest part of the presentation, which is the review of the general feedback, the review of the formula that we have made for you guys and the answers that you guys have submitted.
Of course,
we can move
there's
on.
a lot of reading.
Okay, starting on the general feedback form and an overview of it. The introduction is that we have received 37 responses from you guys, and that's a big number, and we would like to thank you for your dedication to it. I know it was a long formula. Now, Sami has personally read through every single response, as I said before, and these ideas are actually going to be used for the further development of nations. Consideration of the positive and negative aspects of CCNet. The most negative aspect that you guys have forwarded was the toxicity and hostility in the server. The positive part about it was that the community is friendly and helpful, and your key takeaways and potential improvements were to that sieges need some love. They tend to be a place where toxicity happens. the community itself is, a great asset and a great downfall, and I will let that for the interpretation of the hosts. And then we're gonna have metagaming and content gets stale. A nation's revamp will help freshen up things. Now, if any host wants to give an opinion on this.
Yeah, so sieges came up in just about every area of the forum, so you'll see this mentioned a couple times. We are going to talk about the future of sieges later on. A lot of the toxicity people were mentioning in the forums was about the competitiveness of the game, and we know that's going to just happen. That's part of the, that's what you get when you have a competitive game mode, right? So we understand that, but we also understand that it has become a little bit too much, and we're looking at ways to improve the community in general outside of just playing CCNet and playing nations, and hopefully we can mitigate a lot of the things, like the root causes of some of that toxicity.
Yeah, I do agree with you, Somi. This is a competitive game and a game setting, but I do have to agree with the players and actually say that sometimes in some parts and in some moments of the server, the toxicity gets way out of hand, and the server can become quite hostile, and possibly new members don't feel as welcomed as they should feel because of this toxicity, but it's up for debate.
Yeah, Tears, I agree with you. I mean, being a person that has played Nations since 2022, I think toxicity is actually a great point where we need to work on. I'm not saying it's not normal, but it gets to a point where maybe it's just not needed.
Yeah, and I'll just want to say, with the focus on tampering down toxicity, it's not necessarily going to be any toxicity is not allowed, like everyone's mentioned. It's a competitive game mode. Toxicity is inherently part of the gameplay. You're going to get mad at each other. You're going to flame each other. So that's not what we're going to be policing. It's more of the more severe aspects of it. And we just want this to be, a level playing ground, and everyone gets to enjoy the space. And, you can pick on each other, you call each other names, but making sure, it's staying within lines.
The suggestions were to rework sieges, to have a staff moderation overhaul, to have a better staff and community relationship, and the content of the server, which often might get stale, boring, and grindy. But we currently have plans in place for all of the above, so...
Yeah, this one is kind of exciting for me because a lot of the things you guys said in the forum were things we were also already pinpointing. So it was really nice to see we were all kind of on the same page with that one.
Yeah, I mean, I saw the results as well. I think it's a pretty solid agreement.
Well, to be honest, I also was surprised reading through the forum and actually seeing that we agree on these aspects and that we have some future plans on it. I must say that as a helper, I consider myself to be half staff, half player, and I do quite understand the need of the community to ask for this stuff. Sami, how about you with the presentation on this one? I feel like this one is for you.
Yeah, this was a fun one too, just to see what people said. So we did have a question asking what your favorite game feature was. The number one response by far was Movecraft. This was like a landslide victory for Movecraft, and I'm not surprised. We've put a lot of work into customizing our Movecraft plugin, so I'm glad that's not for nothing. Second place was Sieges and PvP. We did also get quite a few mentions of the towny aspect, being able to make your town and build, the gun mechanics people really like, and the economy features were really popular. And I do think that's really good to know. I think all of those things together are what make nations nations. We do really like a lot of these features too on our side. So I just want to note, we're not going to go and completely rewrite all of these plugins and change everything you already know and love. We're only going to make upgrades or tweaks as we need to. So you don't have to worry about Nations 3 being completely unrecognizable. You're still going to see a lot of the things you already like. We're just going to build on it to make it a little more fun.
I think that's a great idea, actually. I am not surprised that the favorite game feature is actually Movecraft. I've joined CCNet and used to play CCNet, mainly because it has line fun as well, but also because of Movecraft. Like for me, it was something very unique, and that's what made me stay here.
Yes, as Davey said, I do think that Movecraft is one of the nicest game features. I didn't meet another server to have this kind of plugin. I really enjoyed it, and it was the first thing that I started with. And the geopol aspect of the server, guns and warfare mechanics would be my second in place, I would say. But, I think that CCNet is very unique in its aspect because we combine most of in real life stuff into a Minecraft server, which makes it so amazing, so nice. And as Shami said, and as it underlines the presentation, those things are going to be only upgraded and they're going to become more enjoyable in the future.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited to see how we can work this out and upgrade what already is like one of the most unique and cool systems in the game.
No, and yeah, just to highlight is that we don't want to reinvent the wheel, right? We're not going to make these scaling changes that completely change how you play the game, just because I've been around since N1, and this is these top three are what make nations. These are the most enjoyable things, whether you're sinking people randomly in the Atlantic or you're just sitting there silver farming for hours. It's just kind of so ingrained in the game mode.
See, that's exactly why we made this form, because on the next slide we will be talking about this stuff, I think.
With those responses that we got, it was actually pretty funny how many of you guys had said Movecraft was your favorite versus Movecraft was your least favorite. It was actually pretty in the middle for some of them. But for this, the worst, Sieges, you find it repetitive, you think it's meta heavy, toxic. Again, all things we want to, consider when we're moving towards greener pastures, so to say. And obviously with new features coming in like spears and happy gas, a lot of people have a pretty loud voice about that. I'm not exactly sure where I stand on the matter. I think I like spears and happy gas, just as my opinion. Definitely something we want to look at further. And that cannons, turrets, bombers, you guys think they're overpowered and one-shot you in sieges, and then obviously the silver farming, but silver farming is part of it. So I don't know if we're gonna make too many changes with that.
I actually agree with the responses on this one because the sieges can get repetitive, they're very meta heavy, and they're very toxic. Usually the results of sieges, or when those sieges won or lost, is either a ramble in the broadcasting server or the general chat of CCNet gets filled with insults. It's a low probability, but it's not fun to see people actually insult each other over a siege. Yes, it's pretty frustrating, and I get the feeling that, when you lose, you get frustrated and irritated because, you did your best and you tried your best shot. But I think that, sieges should be more than that. Sieges are a fun space for everybody. Sieges should be fun, and they shouldn't be necessarily like, oh, we need to win because we are better. No, we need to play because we like to play. And on the spears and happy gas, you have no guarantees of removing them because it's part of the gameplay and it's part of the updates of Minecraft. And I think that everybody should, try to get along with those things. But if you guys need that and you want that, then I guess we can dive in and analyze the situation.
I am not surprised at all that the reason or like the worst part which the player base decided to tell us is that sieges are repetitive, meta heavy, and toxic. I mean, it's pretty obvious right now that we're in a point where nations has become a pretty developed place, and that affects the quality of creativity. Not only creativity, but also how to update stuff in the game, and also how to create new stuff. So that pretty much locks us all in a pace where we're only going to use the stuff which we already have, if anyone understood me of that one.
Well, I won't repeat anything. You guys have pretty much covered most of it, but I just have to really say it was very amusing for me to read through these responses and see that everybody both loves sieges and hates sieges. We also hate that the sieges are so meta heavy, but we hate gas because they interrupt the meta. It's a little ironic. Yeah, so we're gonna take some liberties with that probably because everybody was really divided in those responses. We don't know what direction we're going in with those yet. It's definitely gonna be a discussion for sure, but some people have some pretty strong opinions on that, so we'll see.
It is indeed ironic. we are going to be presenting the gun system, one of the beloved features of CCNet. I will start with saying the most prominent positive, what it is a good sorted alternative and accessible for non-PvPers, which I do agree because it's a great alternative for those who cannot PvP. But the most negative aspect was its damaging consistency and large group gun spam. Now, suggestions on how to improve all of this stuff was to add more weapon variants, to rebalance overpowered guns, to make them more sort of like a supporting weapon, add gun customizations like scopes, recoil improvements, bayonets, etc. so you can customize your own gun and make it according to your need, and adjust the combat feel like hit sounds, directional or muffled audio for our environment. As it is highlighted, we aren't sure what is possible right now regarding this suggestion, but we are open-minded and we are going to be exploring this plugin and what we can do with it. But I would really like to let somebody who knows what's up with this talk about this issue and give their opinions on it. So you guys have the floor.
I thought a lot of the feedback on guns was actually super cool. You guys have some really good ideas for guns. There was such a variety of suggestions that we received for them. And I personally want to implement as many of them as we possibly can realistically. I'm not a coder, so I don't really know what goes into modifying a plugin, but I'll see what we can do to get as many of these in as we can, because you guys really gave some good feedback on that. And I was really excited to read what you guys had to say.
And I'll speak on the development side of things. I'm not a developer for CCNet, but I work pretty closely with our devs. So one thing I want to point out is if you guys see this as an easy task, just know this is pretty considerable. Adding a gun could be as simple as a text file, but actually modeling that gun out, modeling the different variants, animations, things of that nature do take time, and we are community driven. This is I would like to see this happen as well. I'll contribute where I can, but yeah, definitely when you see changes like this, they are bigger than they look.
I just want to underline that in this key aspect and key issue is that we give the staff team and the development team the time that they need. Those ideas are taken into consideration. They just need the time to actually implement them, because as Moog said, and I'm not a coder, but I know that a lot of effort goes into adding a plugin, modeling, and doing stuff. I tried it myself. I couldn't figure it out. I'm no coder, and I would just like to say that people need to have a bit of patience when it comes to changes like this.
So you guys asked us, what do you like about the slime fun system? What you don't like about it? And why? What would you improve or add? So the most positive answers would be the variety of the machines, the depth of content, the quality of life of the plugin itself, and the most negative ones would be grinding, silver farming, of course, the automation. The suggestions would be more automation capability, hoppers, pipes, auto sorters, bots, to reduce grinding, simplify recipes, easier large-scale crafting, less clicking, improve the energy and the fuel system at the same time, which means cheaper biofuel, more efficient fuel, and options like solar and nuclear energy too. More machines and upgrades such as auto anvil upgrades, ingest processors, and advanced late-game machinery too, so it doesn't get stale.
But I do know that you guys did have some good ideas to make it a little more fun. There's some things that likely we won't do. I know full automation capability is probably not going to happen, but we will expand and make it so it doesn't feel so much like a grind, if that makes sense. You're not just sitting there doing the same thing over and over and over and over.
Yeah, and to speak on it, very saddened to hear that you guys don't like silver farming. It's my favorite part of the game, honestly. But just to note, because I do see the chat, is that some of these points more towards the bottom are suggestions, especially stuff like hoppers working with Slime Fun. It just inherently not how Slime Fun kind of handles block states and those inventories, but we do want to take a look at the grinding. We do understand that silver farming, not everyone, is as cool as me and understands that it rocks. But we are going to take a look at it. But we also want to not completely automate everything. We don't want this to look like a modded Minecraft server where you have 3 million pipes going about the place and you never have to touch a button. We do want you to struggle a little bit. It's part of the realism. No, but I get it. You guys might not like silver farming for 6 hours while you watch Family Guy clips. It's just it's different from my opinion.
The suggestions on the slides are aggregated from the most popular ones. So if it's on the slide, that means multiple people said it. It doesn't mean we're going to automatically put it in, but it does mean it was a popular opinion. And I wanted to just make sure you guys could see what the trends were in the feedback.
I mean, I'm not trying to say that silver farming is entirely bad, but like, as a person who has grinded over 4 million of money in silver farm, I can say that it's pretty stale for me. Like, I don't want to continue doing this. I felt like I waste a lot of time just doing it for no reason at all. I do see a lot of stuff regarding silver farming and general slime fun that would actually need improvement. And I don't know if we're able to do that right now, but I feel like working on it would be a great step.
They know, and the whole of we knows that I'm not a grinder and that I don't like to silver farm. I do avoid them as much as possible, and whenever I have to silver farm or to grind, mostly silver farm, I just watch a podcast while I'm doing it, and I'm just trying to AFK it as much as possible, or I'm just asking my nation members, hey, do you have money for me, please, you know? But yeah, I do agree with the repetitivity of it and it being a bit stressful and annoying, because it is, and I don't like to do it, and I fully understand that. So I think that the suggestions are really good, but as Mook said and Sami said, I don't know if they're gonna be necessarily implemented, but we are gonna take a look on it, and I hope that it can be, the grinding and silver farming can be reduced.